Hi and welcome to my first ever vlog. This is something I thought I'd try and do this year a little bit when I go to weddings, just to show a little bit of behind the scenes of what I do when I'm shooting. I've tried to start doing this sort of thing before, it's never happened. So I'm trying to keep this very simple. I've got an old GoPro that I got out of a box that I never use, a GoPro 7. Just very much talking to camera, very basic editing. But I think it might be interesting to some people, hopefully. I'll see how it goes. I'm just at the Four Seasons in Hampshire today, but this is an NDA wedding, so I'm not going to film any of it. But just got a break here when I thought it would be a good moment to start this vlog. But I think what I'll do is have a wedding in Italy coming up next weekend, which I can film at. So as much as I can, I'm going to get this camera out and I'm going to try and vlog it. See if it's of interest to anyone. If it is, I'll try and carry on with it throughout the season. If not, the GoPro can go back in a box. See you on my way to Italy. Okay. Made it through the airport, picked up my car. One thing I'd say about overseas weddings, if it's not something you've done before, is picking up rental cars is always the worst bit. The queue is slow, they're always trying to sell you insurance you don't need. How you've got to find the car, you don't know what car you're going to get, it's often not what you think it's going to be. It's just, yeah, it's the pain I definitely feel every time I do an overseas wedding, is picking up a car, checking there's no scratches and all that sort of thing. And I've locked the keys in the car a couple of times because I don't know the car, I don't realise you can do that, and I've been stuck in the middle of nowhere in the dark and had to get the keys sorted out. If I could, I'd always have my own car or use taxis or whatever, but this wedding is in the middle of nowhere. It's an hour and a half from the airport, so I need a car. But yeah, that's just a sort of moan about the reality of overseas weddings. Something else I always bring is one of these. I can magnetise my phone to this, and then I can stick this on the window, use it as a sat-nav. Obviously if the car's got CarPlay or some sort of inbuilt sat-nav, great, but sometimes they don't. Sometimes it doesn't work, or you just can't get it connected. So yeah, having something like this. Otherwise you find you're trying to drive around the streets with nowhere to really put your phone to use as a sat-nav, and you don't know where you're going. So yeah, I'd always advise just bringing something just in case. I'm literally just turning this camera on and just seeing what I say, really. But yeah, I'm all checked in now into this big echoey apartment in the middle of nowhere, somewhere in Tuscany. And it makes me think of one thing I'd say about overseas weddings, if it's something you don't do at the moment but you're thinking about doing, is it can be a sort of strangely lonely affair. I am just on my own here. I don't know anyone else working at this wedding. So yeah, I mean, some of my weddings overseas, the bigger ones, there might be more of us, and I do always bring people. So if they want a second videographer, or sometimes I've had 3 videographers, or I've had a drone operator or something, generally they're just people I know, people I get on with, because it just makes the whole journey more pleasant. We work together a lot and can trust each other to get through whatever the situations are, which maybe last year, wildfires in Sicily, which we had to literally drive a car through some wildfires, Iceland, snowstorms, things like that, yeah, it's nice to have other people with you in those situations. But, you know, other jobs like this, what I quite like is I get on with some work. I've got editing I need to do. I've been checking the Wi-Fi works because I have a call with a potential client tomorrow and I'm just trying to figure out the time difference with where she is and I'm here and all that sort of thing. So yeah, I mean, other work carries on. So though I like to get, I always like to get to overseas weddings nice and early. So tomorrow actually isn't the wedding day, it's the next day. But I need to do some drone tomorrow, which a couple have paid me to do some drone beforehand, and I like to do that in advance if I can. But also, if I can help it, I will always try and fly in the night before, the day before the wedding, just because, yeah, there's been situations in the past, never actually missed anything, but if you're trying to fly like the afternoon of the day before, you are just potentially going to run into, you just need that one flight to be cancelled and you might not be going. So for me, I try and build that in to prices and travel costs. So I'm costing for 3 nights rather than 2. And that just means that peace of mind. I know that tomorrow I can just go and look at the venue, fly my drone a bit, see where I'm going to be, maybe even take some establishing shots so I don't have to do that on the wedding day. And then on the wedding day itself, I know where I'm going, I know what I'm doing, it doesn't feel unfamiliar to me. But it's something you need to build into your costs, so you can't just be sort of using your own time to do that and spending your own money on that accommodation. It's a realistic need, so you have to sort of explain that to the client and tell them, I'm going to need another night because it's better for you that I'm here early. And sometimes I'll throw in the fact that it means I can come to the venue and I can get a few extra shots. Other times I've even met the couple and maybe even taken a few pre-wedding shots or whatever, you know. Just, I want to make the films good, so if that works, then having that extra day for an overseas weddings makes it worth it. It seems crazy to come all this way, then bank everything on that one day. The weather might not be great, all that sort of thing. But that being said, when it's ones like this, it does mean you're away from family, and just this sort of wedding where I'm just on my own is a bit strange. So I make sure I've built into my week the fact that I've got this time to do work. So I might have taken some more time off of work before I came, had more time with my family. Was once I get here, I know I've got time to catch up on emails, to do some editing, or that sort of thing. So yeah, I mean, another obvious thing is I make sure I find somewhere with good Wi-Fi so I can do those calls and that sort of thing, and I can FaceTime family and everything. Good morning. It's already 11 o'clock. I've been up, driven to the nearest town to find some food, because this is a weird place I'm staying. It's nice, but it just seems to be a big, I think it's an old monastery or something on the side of a church, and I haven't seen anyone. I couldn't find a reception. It just seems to be lots of rooms around a big courtyard. Perfectly nice, but that means there's nothing to eat here or anything. I had to go and find some breakfast and some coffee, then come back. I've got a call. My usual confusion with time differences, I thought it was at 12, but it's actually at 1 Italian time, 12 UK time. So I've got a little bit of time, but I've got a couple of emails to do. I've got a wedding film to finish editing, and then after that call I need to head to the venue to take some drone shots. Right, call done. I was talking to someone, I won't say where, but a long way from here, Italy. If it pans out, it could be a really cool wedding. So yeah, if it does, I'll tell you about it. If it doesn't, I'll never speak of it again. But now I'm going off to the venue to get some drone stuff, and it is absolutely sweltering. This is one of the reasons why I like to come and look at the venue the day before. I've got here. I have no idea how you get in this place, and I've got no phone signal, so I can't call anyone or email anyone, so I'm just gonna have to wander around now. Something that I wouldn't want to be doing tomorrow on the wedding day itself. I've just found a spot with some phone signal, so I'm trying to text the client. So this is always the fun of going somewhere you've never been before. Okay, drone flown. Did a couple of batteries worth, got some nice shots. I always have a mixed feeling about the drone because I never want to use much of it. I always think you can overdo it with drone. You know, and there's the cliche that everyone opens their film with a drone, which I always try and avoid, really. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but obviously if you've got couples looking through lots of wedding films and 5 of them start the same way, it's, you know, you always want to stand out from that sort of thing if you can. But obviously, I'm not going to pretend it doesn't look great. It always looks great for the drone, especially a place like this. It's just a cool sort of castle mansion thing. It looks in the Tuscan Hills. It looks lovely. But I always say, if they want me to do it, I do it the day before the wedding. I charge a little extra to come and do it the day before the wedding. It's just something I don't want to be doing on the wedding day if I can help it. It's just another thing to think about when I've got other things to be filming. It takes time, and you know, if something goes horribly wrong with it, it's just on your mind the rest of the wedding day. So I'd rather get the drone done now and forget about it. But yeah, I find it mildly stressful flying it, so it's something I don't particularly like. If I can, or if people want it on the wedding day, for instance, then I will say I need to bring someone else to do it. 2 options: either have a second shooter who can go and do some drone, or, which I had a few times last year, I actually had a dedicated drone person with me all day, and they would fly drone throughout the day over different parts of the day, and that's great because you know it's being covered. You know, it's someone who, so this guy had 2 drones. We were in Sicily, and he, yeah, even though it's pouring with rain, he managed to get stuff, and it makes life a lot easier when you know that's being covered. But obviously everyone's budget is different, and or they don't see it as that important. They just want some shots of the venue, and I prefer that, really. It's nice to have some establishing moments of the venue. I feel like too much drone stuff throughout the day sort of pulls you out of the film a little bit. If you're trying to build a story up and suddenly you're out in an epic drone shot, it's just, I don't know. I feel like it takes away a little bit from, especially if you've got a style of video where you want it to be quite intimate and not too showy, and yeah, a little bit more naturalistic. Drone, just, if you're not careful, can look a little bit staged and showy. But as establishing shots or cutaway shots, you know, taking us forward in time, then I think the drone can look nice. But yeah, it's something I don't know. It's one of those things, people want it. If people really want it, I'll do it. But I don't particularly enjoy it. But the results are generally worth it. And yeah, what I got today was some pretty nice stuff. But I'm just glad that's done. It's out of the way. And what I'll do is I will have it with me tomorrow. I probably won't fly it, but it'll be there in my in the car in case. But you know, if it just happened to be something really stunning that was worth it. But suddenly you're entering a whole nother realm of stress when you've got people and guests and all that sort of thing. Today there's no one around. It's nice and quiet. It's peaceful. They're not setting things up. You try and fly the drone in the morning of a wedding. People are setting up, you know, tables, and there's vans everywhere. So this way, nice and quiet, calm. I know those shots are done. I'm going to go back and back them up. So I know that footage is already backed up on my computer. I also didn't have long, but I also managed to get a few nice establishing shots. And I just try and get the sort of shots that I wouldn't be able to get tomorrow. Places where I know there's going to be people setting things up, or tables are going to be being put or something. It's nice just to get a couple of shots like that. I don't like setting up shots, as in shots of people putting out tables and that sort of thing. I really don't get it. It doesn't fit my style. I just feel like it's sort of, it's behind the scenes in a weird way that I just don't understand. You know, works for some people, but for me, what I prefer is to get nice clean shots of the venue, then I will have shots tomorrow of it all set up, looking great. And yeah, I just sort of cut out that in between. But anyway, that's done. I'm going to go and back up all of my stuff and then see if I can find a pizza. Morning. It's 8 in the morning, already really hot. I've been up for a while. It's always that thing on a wedding day, you just wake up early. Probably worried about oversleeping. Yeah, so I don't need to be at the venue for a little while yet, but I'll get what I can. Obviously, I'm trying to vlog me shooting weddings, but on the actual wedding day, it's pretty hard to actually spend time getting like behind the scenes stuff. I've tried in the past and I never end up doing it. It's always hectic, and today's going to be a pretty busy day, but I'll get what I can. I'll at least debrief at the end of the wedding. I'm just setting up cameras for the ceremony later. I want to get this done now because I know things are going to get busy in a while. Whew. Ceremony done. It was very hot. I was worried my camera's going to overheat. It's another good reason to have like a few cameras on the go because they were getting pretty warm. That's done. Speeches and things to come. Got to do some couple stuff next. But yeah, going well. One thing I always say to new people is, yeah, don't overshoot. So things like the reception, it's easy, it goes on for hours, it's easy just to keep shooting and shooting, but really just look for those key moments, key people. Take your time to get some really nice looking, well-composed shots rather than just trying to like grab a shot of everyone, because you're never going to fit it in the film, you know. I mean, it depends, you might be doing a really long film, but for me, the finished film's 7 to 9 minutes. I'm only going to use a handful of shots of the reception, so it's just actually making sure you've just got some nice, well-composed shots and some shots of sort of the main bits of the action, some drinks, some people laughing, that sort of thing. Yeah, so just don't overshoot, basically. Yeah, only one way up to the top of this tower in this rickety old lift, which I'm not a great fan of, but I've been up it about 10 times already. I'm just going to get a shot from the top of the tower straight down on everyone, sort of like an aerial shot, but without needing to get the drone out. But yeah, I think it will look nice. Definitely worth doing, really nice shot. Just held the same shot for like 3 minutes and then got like a cool bird flying across above everyone, which looked really good. I could also see the tables for the wedding breakfast from up there as well, so definitely worth making the effort of just going up there for a little minute. Couple just did a Bulgarian ceremony. This thing I really like about doing weddings, particularly overseas ones, is you often get these different cultural aspects to them. I just find really interesting. I really like that sort of thing. Didn't know what was happening, but it was really cool. I'm gonna quickly fly my drone. It's one of those things where I don't say I'm gonna do it on the wedding day, so it sort of takes the pressure off if I just feel like it's not gonna be workable. But actually, it's gonna look cool top down over the dinner, which is outside with the tower and everything, and it's just about light enough, I think, to get a good shot. So I'm gonna try that now. Okay, it's very late. I stayed a lot longer than I was planning to. My ears are ringing. The band were really good. Yeah, one thing I'd say about, if you want to get into the sort of slightly higher end sort of weddings, is just accept that you're probably going to do longer days, and, you know, try not to have really hard and fast hours that you work and things like that. You really just got to build in a bit more time, because elaborate weddings like this, they overrun. There's a lot of good stuff to get. The couple expect more. So yeah, I'm used to the fact that it's now very late, and I need to get home and back up all this footage, then flying home in the morning. Okay, up, not much sleep. Had to get all my stuff ready quite quickly. I'm going to try and head into the local town, see if I can get some breakfast before heading off to the airport. Okay, finally back home in my office. Obviously I backed up the footage once while I was away on an SSD, but I'm now going to do that a couple more times now I'm home. Then I'm going to put together a little teaser film, which I'll be sharing soon. So if you want to see that, or you want to see more of these vlogs, then by all means like and subscribe, and I'll think about doing some more in the future. Hope this was of some use to someone.